you. We just love you. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that you love me, but love doesn't pay my bills.
Octavia Spencer knows how to say no. The Alabama native is one of 2 women of color to have received 3 Oscar nominations, and she's the first Black actress to receive 2 consecutive nominations. 2 things she did not say no to, of course, would be The Witches, which is a new film she's currently starring in with fellow Oscar winner Anne Hathaway, and Thunder Force, a new one that is soon coming with Melissa McCarthy. We chat. I want to start here. How did your big win in 2011, winning that Oscar, how did that change things for you and the decisions that you made moving forward?
Well, it didn't change at first. My agents were like me. The things that I was being offered, I had already done. And so we decided to stick with independent films because the characters were a broader range.
Did that surprise you? Because I can imagine that probably wasn't necessarily your expectation of what that moment and what the moment after that moment would feel like, right?
I was forewarned by Viola Davis, not about the Oscar win, but it was just very different in Hollywood for women of color. And so I expected that. And that's one of the reasons that we just kept saying no to a lot of things until the roles met the moment.
Is that ultimately what really got you into the producer game as well? Because I noticed that your first producer credit was for Fruitvale Station, which mind blown. But was that really what made you kind of jump into that role?
Well, I actually wanted to be a producer before I wanted to be an actor. But there's not a playbook for this is how you go out to Hollywood and produce. There was a roadmap to how to become an actor. So acting facilitated my dream of producing. But sure, people always ask me, what's the role you're dying to play? And my response to that is always producer. A producer, not only do I get to create opportunities for myself, but for other people as well.
What types of stories are you looking to tell as a producer?
I'm looking to tell all kinds of stories, things that are just for pure enjoyment, things that educate. As a storyteller, you don't want to be limited. You want to be expansive, but also create opportunities for marginalized, underserved storytellers. I'm open to, ghost stories. I'm open to true life stories. I'm open to just about everything.
You are one of 2 women of color to have been nominated 3 times, and you're the first Black woman to get nominated consecutively, which is amazing. You are truly a gifted actor. Does that change how you pick projects and how you approach projects?
No, I never, if you start choosing projects thinking that they're going to be awards winner, you will always be set up for failure because that's something that's beyond your control. For me, I just choose projects that resonate with me. People say, how do you pick roles? I don't ever pick roles. I pick projects. If they brought The Witches to me without a script, Kenya Barris and Bob Zemeckis attached to direct and Anne Hathaway attached to be the lead, I don't know that I would have signed on so eagerly. I choose projects as a whole because I know the pedigree of the people involved will reflect how much money is put into the project, how much production value the project will have, and how much support the project will have from the studios.
What did you see in that project, aside from the things you just ticked off, that made you say, I really have to do this project. I have to do this one?
It was just deliciously spooky. I hadn't really been exposed to this world of magic and evil and deliciously wicked, not the evil of something like The Exorcist, but it just reminded me how vivid one's imagination can be.
You truly can work, and you have worked in every genre known to man. I mean, drama, comedy, dark fantasy, thriller, everything. There really is nothing that you can't do, but is there a space that you feel more comfortable and more natural in? And if so, which area might that be?
Actually, I'm more of a true crime person. So I'm excited, more excited about my series that I do for Apple, but I don't want to ever limit myself to any genre. I think, as Black women, we're already limited with the type of roles that are out there. I think people take issue with the fact that I do a lot of period pieces. I happen to enjoy period pieces. I did The Witches in April through June of last year. Right after that, I did Madam CJ. And so, during the 60s, they wore skirts up to their knees, but with Madam CJ, everything was covered, and I'm claustrophobic. I mean, you're in boots and these long skirts and petticoats and corsets and things all the way up to your neck. And I thought, you know what? No more period. That was actually the movie that did it for me with the period pieces. And
really?
I just knew that I could not be bound by clothing.
Listen, whatever Octavia Spencer wants, Octavia Spencer should get. So I am behind that one. But along those lines, you and I had a really interesting conversation, insightful, that stayed with me. And this was this is the Golden Globes last year. We were backstage, and you had shared with me then that before you went into production on CJ, that LeBron James and Maverick Carter had to go in there and fight for you to get what you were worth. And that allyship was truly heard around the world, I think, by and large, because people were like, why does Octavia Spencer even, is subjected to this in this town? But did it surprise you that with all of the accolades and accomplishments that you had, it still took two men, quite frankly, to go in there and make sure that you got what you were worth?
Well, no, it didn't surprise me, but I think it surprised them, and not them. I mean, the deal makers. See, I don't have a problem walking away and saying no. It wasn't that LeBron and Maverick had to say something. If it wasn't fixed, I wasn't going to do the project. It's just that simple. So, I don't have a problem walking away when things aren't necessarily fair for me. I don't have a problem saying no. And I think that we have to do that a lot more. We have to be willing to leave things on the table, let them go to the third choice. And then you'll remember that, okay, this was our third choice, and it feels like a third choice,
Yeah. Is it hard to do that? And if so, if not, like what happened for you to be comfortable enough to want to walk away from a project like that?
Every job you get as an actor, for me, it's I better have a raise every time out there, because I know that what's going to be required of me, getting up early, staying late every day. So I don't have a problem saying, no, I'm going to need this, because I know that you're going to require these things of me. It's easy, for me, because I know what the job entails, and I know that I want to be compensated fairly. And if you don't want to do that, then when people say, oh, we love you, we just love you. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that you love me, but love doesn't pay my bills. So I have no problem saying no. I don't.
I love hearing all of that. I think that a lot of times, because you've had successes in the world of drama and anything that's not comedy, people forget that you are funny as hell. When you first came out, you were on so many funniest female actors lists in this town. But has it been challenging for people to understand that you really are quite gifted at the comedy because of what you've given us from a world of drama?
I don't think it's hard for people. I think it's hard for me. I don't consider myself a funny person, because I'm surrounded by so many really funny people, the Melissa McCarthy's and Allison Janney's and Yvette Nicole Brown's and Sherry Shepherd's of the world, that I don't see myself as a fair comparison.
Oh no, you didn't watch yourself host Saturday Night Live, because you were very funny. I'm telling you. But You said the magic 2 words, Melissa McCarthy. I am so excited about Thunder Force. Tell me about this project. I cannot wait for it to come out.
Oh, it was a delight getting to work with 2 of my favorite people, Melissa and her husband, Ben. Ben wrote it and directed it. And we laughed every single solitary day. It's a movie that has a lot of heart. But a lot of action. I mean, oh my God, I was getting massaged every week. And you know, we had good stunt people, thank God, you know. But it was so fun. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, Octavia Spencer, it is always great to talk to you. Continued success. Truly, truly love all the gifts that you've given us over the years and that you will continue.